Hello, my loves. Welcome to Pain to Joy. My name is Danielle Sutty, and I want to thank you from my whole heart for being here today. How are you? How is your heart? How is your holiday heart? I am recording this a few days post-Christmas 2025 and a few days pre-New Year's 2025. And so, yes, I am going to put one hand on my heart and I'm going to take a breath low into the belly, and please feel free to join if that feels all right for you. And I'm just going to exhale anything from this holiday season, and another deep breath in low in the belly if that feels good for you, and a long exhale. Exhaling all that no longer serves from this past year. And you might choose or need to pause and take a few more exhales. I know for me, this year has been really the most challenging of my life. And the reason I wanted to make an episode is to share some updates, to say a massive heartfelt thank you. So I want to begin with that. Thank you if this is the first time you're listening. Thank you if you've listened to every single episode. Thank you for following and subscribing, leaving comments. Thank you for reaching out personally and letting me know how past episodes have landed for you. Although I haven't recorded many episodes this year, it is a joy of my life to be able to share and to be in connection with humans. I love people so much. And this past year, I have not had the capacity or the energy to be in connection with so many of the people I love in the ways that I love. And so I just want to take this moment to say thank you. Whether we've met before, whether I know you personally, thank you for this opportunity for connection. And a special thank you to my niece, my youngest niece, who listens to the episodes over and over and is like a little angel and cheerleader to me, because she'll say, Auntie D, you haven't recorded an episode in a while. I need more episodes, because in her case, it ends up being that one episode will play over and over on her little speaker Alexa thing. And so I will just let her know, this one's for you. I'd like to begin with an update about my situation with iron. If you've been following along, I've experienced a lot of ups and downs health-wise this year, probably more downs than ups, part of which were exacerbated by a brain retraining concussion rehab program that I attempted. And I will give an update in a moment on what was helpful from that. So if you do experience migraines or post-concussion syndrome, there are some key things that have helped me and other things that I completely have disregarded from the program, because the results of it really messed with my hormones, messed with my brain chemistry, and I'm still coming back from that months and months and months later. But the iron, my iron levels, my ferritin levels have been low for years. My ferritin has never been higher than 32 for years, and I'm awaiting surgery for a fibroid that I started calling patat, because it's probably in the weird shape of a large potato, and it is in the wall of my uterus, and it has been the cause of a lot of issues, even the last couple of months. And so I spoke with a doctor in September who was filling in for my doctor, and I had mentioned on a previous episode that when I phoned and said I wasn't feeling great, and they said, well, you can wait a few weeks to speak with your doctor, I said, that's not good enough. So I phoned back, and I was able to get an appointment a few days later. And in that appointment, I said, I need to get my iron levels tested once a month for the next few months. And thank goodness, I advocated for myself, and I invite you and encourage you to do the same. So I had my ferritin, my hemoglobin, etc. tested September, October, November, because my ferritin had gone down to 15 a few months ago. And I was able to get it up to 25, 31, 32. And I was really excited, thinking maybe I could get it to 35. And just over a month ago, it was back down to 22. And when I saw that, I realized that I absolutely need to seek out an iron infusion from a private provider, because I had tried to do it through our healthcare system here in Alberta, Canada, and I was told that my levels weren't low enough. And thank goodness I did reach out. So I was able to get an iron infusion just under 2 weeks ago now. And then the next day, I got the call that I have a tentative surgery date. And had I not gotten the iron infusion, I would not have been able to accept that surgery date because my ferritin levels were too low. So I share this firstly to say what has been a theme of this year, which is it is so important and integral that we advocate for our health, that we are honest with ourselves when something isn't right, when something we know is off for us. I spent the better part of this year having to say over and over, something isn't working. I'm up all hours because the fibroid, patat, puts pressure on my bladder when I lie down. So I'm in the bathroom and I'm in the bathroom and I'm in the bathroom until 2:30 in the morning. So I'm not getting productive sleep. It's messing with my hormones. I have a lot of PAIN. I have fatigue that is so extreme for 5 to 10 days pre-moon time, so before my menstrual cycle arrives, that I can barely function. And those are just a couple of the things that have been affected in my life. It has affected my relationships. I have had no desire to be around people, see people. I did see family and some close friends over the holidays because those friends are like family. I'm missing my other friends that I consider family, but I've had no capacity, no energy, no desire. And interestingly enough, a few days ago on a Reddit thread about fibroids, about myomectomies, which is the surgery I will have, so many people were saying, my the fibroid has ruined my life. I have no energy. I have no desire to hang out with friends. I have no social life anymore. And I felt so seen. Like I said at the beginning, I love people. I love my friends. I love my family. But my capacity has been lower than I ever could have thought. And so, thank goodness, I got in for the iron infusion. And it was also a practice in perseverance. I had a wonderful nurse. She was so lovely. She tried to get a vein in my right hand. I happen to have Raynaud's, which is a phenomenon where your hands and feet can be very cold. I have it in the tip of my nose. And it's always been difficult for nurses to get a vein, to get blood work done, etc. And I always know to keep my limbs warm, keep myself as warm as possible. So I was warm. I was ultra hydrated, so hydrated. So she tried in a vein in my right hand. The vein disappeared. She tried again in the crease of my right arm. She couldn't get a vein. She got in there. The vein collapsed. She then said to me, I'm just going to go get backup. I'm not allowed to do more than 3 tries. And I looked at her and I said, I don't care if you try 9 times. I am not leaving here today without this infusion. So she went and got the manager from the front desk to come and just chit-chat, sort of like her secret weapon. She was an amazing nurse. She's an amazing practitioner. My veins are just tricky. There were no hard feelings. I was cheering her on. And hallelujah, thankfully, she was able to get a vein in my left arm on her 3rd try. The infusion usually should only have taken about an hour and a half, but by the time she got the vein, by the time we did it, I think I was there for almost 3 hours. So my mom went down to get the car because we would run out of parking time. And the nurse said to me, I'm so sorry that I had such a hard time getting a vein. And I looked at her and I said, when you go to bed tonight, please know that there is nothing in me that is upset about that. I came here to get an infusion. This was so important for me. I hope that it is life-changing for me, but I am not surprised because I am someone who is such a perseverer. Try again. So the fact that you got it on the third try makes perfect sense to me in my journey and my experience. So thank you for being a perseverer. Thank you for persevering. Thank you for believing in yourself. I knew you could do it. And so I'm very, very thankful to my nurse and all of the staff at the clinic. I believe it was called Aeon Future. I can't remember the rest of it, in Calgary, Alberta. And so I continued to hydrate. And then, unfortunately, at my home, there has been construction ongoing. And when I had returned back the day previous, it turned out my home and the home above mine was covered in a big red tarp with this really bright light. And so I guess because they were laying brick, it had to be enclosed because it's winter here in Canada. And it was kind of claustrophobic, but also there was no natural light. And something that I'll speak to in a moment about the brain retraining, or if you experience migraines, and some things that have been helpful is to get light in my eyeballs, if possible, within the first 20 minutes upon waking. It's best if you're outside looking directly up at the sky, whether there's sun or not, there's still enough light. If not, you can look through a window, and if that doesn't work, then you can use a UV lamp. And because of the tarp, that really did feel like living on Mars or living inside. I don't know if you're familiar with the program. It was a cartoon, I believe, called The Magic School Bus, where this scientist teacher lady would take the students on a magic school bus inside the body to teach kids about science and organs and the digestive system and the circulatory system. And I really felt like I was living inside of that. And I had low energy. And the first day I couldn't even walk to the end of the hall to look outside. And I don't even know if I had my UV lamp here because I had been living in Canmore, Alberta, an hour away. And so I ended up having 4 migraines, Tuesday morning, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, I believe. And a couple of them were just wild. There was also a snowstorm, an actual blizzard at the time. And then I did notice that I got a bit of a rash on my chest. The skin is still a bit strange. So that was another side effect of the iron. But I kept hydrating and I rested. And I told myself over and over again, it doesn't matter, it's worth it. It doesn't matter, it's worth it. And then on about day 3 or 4, maybe day 3 post-infusion, I did start to get achy feeling in my legs and lower back in the evenings. They do say you can have the iron flu. And maybe it was like that, but I'm very fortunate to not get the flu very often. So it just was a very uncomfortable pain in my legs and my lower back. And I just rested and I hydrated. And I rested and I hydrated. And I did notice probably day 9 post-infusion, I wasn't as tired as I usually would be at that point in my cycle. And so I'm incredibly thankful because I believe that around day 9, this infusion that I got, Monoferric, has started to do its thing. It's not perfect by any means. It's still working. It takes about 6 weeks for it to level off. Your hemoglobin levels will go way up and then they'll come back down. But I'm incredibly thankful because, aforementioned, I ended up getting a call that I was not expecting the next day that I will have surgery in a few weeks. And had I not had the iron infusion, I wouldn't have been able to get that surgery at that date. So again, know your body, trust your body, tell the truth when you go to see your practitioners, fight for what you want and you need. Because although I appreciate my doctor so much, she has been my doctor, my family doctor since I was 12 years old. A few months ago, she said to get the infusion. Then a month or 2 ago, she said, your hemoglobin is okay, so don't worry about it. And I'm like, I am tired. I do not have energy to spend time with people I love. There were days where I felt like I was walking in mud, like just walking through mud, like the level of fatigue that I was having. So please trust yourself, fight for what you need, and get her done. Very, very thankful. Now, to go back to the brain retraining and concussion rehab program that I entitled Get My Life Back months and months and months ago, I did want to revisit that and just share, if you do experience migraines or post-concussion, some of the things from that program that can be helpful and that I have found helpful. Some of the tenets of that program were things like go to bed at the same time every night and get up at the same time every morning. I am not someone who, because of PTAT, because of the fibroid, going to bed at the same time every night is basically not possible. However, getting up at the same time, and my physio had told me 2 months ago, that is almost more important. So obviously getting good sleep is important for all of us. And what I've noticed is when I get up because I have to go to the bathroom because PTAT is putting pressure on my bladder, I do my best, whether that's at 7, unfortunately there's no light in the morning, but if it's around 8 or 8:30, if I'm somewhere where I can get outside, my condo I can't because the patio door is unable to be opened because of the construction, but I can look out the window, I can go outside if possible, use a UV lamp, that first wake up. So even if that wake up, I'm having some yogurt and taking some medication and going back to sleep for an hour or two and meditating, getting light in my eyes and getting up seems to help. They also do say if you're doing that sort of program to eat meals at the same time every day. That's not something that I particularly do, but that's something that can help. You have your meals at the same time, you're getting up and going to bed at the same time. Again, that can be very unrealistic, but the getting up and getting light in my eyes, even if I've gone back to meditate or gone back to sleep, has been incredibly helpful. Something else in the program that was helpful was this idea that if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling fatigued, I have to really gauge this, but do I really need to lie down or could I move my body? So during the brain retraining program, I completely cut out naps cold turkey, and I had been napping for 15 years. That worked until it didn't. So now I do rest during the day, whether it's a 30-minute or 18-minute guided yoga nidra, or whether on some days in the last couple of months, there was a day where I had like a 2-hour nap because I needed it. But sometimes I just sit and I ask, what do my brain and body need? And it might be that if I go for a bit of a walk, or I use the exercise bike, or I do some yoga, instead of resting, that might be what my brain needs. But I really think that getting the light in my eyes in the morning, even if I lay back down, has been key. And I want to send love to anyone who is experiencing post-concussion challenges, to people who do experience migraines. I know there are some people I love that do. I'm sharing tools with them, they're sharing tools with me. I know there are a lot of different medications out there. In my case, the medication that I take still works for me. So I take a triptan. It's called Maxalt or rizatriptan, but you can only take that medication 10 times in a month. And there can be times when I'm having over 20 migraines in a month. So when the migraine kicks in, I have to sit there and decide, is this the day I'm going to take this medication? Or can I use a different medication to see if it can help? Can I go for a walk? Can I hydrate? Sometimes if I slam a Coca-Cola, the sugar and the caffeine, that can help, even just the cold on the roof of my mouth. I know a few days ago, I really didn't want to take the medication because I had taken it a couple of days prior. And so I was able to rig some pillows behind me and meditate and rest for a bit. And it took the edge off enough that I could get through the day. So please know that I am sending you comfort and I am sending you ease if this is something you experience. And I'm sending love to you and your loved ones. May you be able to communicate with them so that they can better support you through it. And may you experience practitioners who hear you and understand you and can help you find the best solutions to help ease you through the post-concussion or migraine experience. I'm not sure what you celebrate, but if you have celebrated something over the last few weeks, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or another holiday, or I know a lot of people with birthdays at this time of year, I hope that you have been able to find joyful moments. I hope that you have been able to find moments for you to decompress and to just be. I know for all my mama and parent friends out there, it can be a very frazzling time of year to get everything organized and to make the holiday magical for the people that you love and the people in your lives. And if no one has said it to you, thank you for making Christmas magical, for making the holidays magical for your loved ones, for your children. A lot of times that magic goes unappreciated, unacknowledged, and unthanked. So please let me be someone who says from my whole heart, thank you for the magic that you have created, not just this year, but in past years. Thank you for making life more magical for everyone around you. And it's funny too, that makes me think of a quote that I keep seeing, or a sentence about your childhood felt magical because you were living in the present moment. So may we all learn to pause, breathe, and live in the present moment, because I know for me in my healing journey this year, when my mind wanders and wants to go to a dark place or somewhere in the past that didn't feel good, something that I have been out loud or inwardly saying to myself is, nope, we live in the present moment now. And then I'll go further and I would say, in this moment, I'm looking at this lamp. In this moment, I'm recording a podcast. Because I need to untrain my brain of the patterns that it has wanted to follow. When I experience a lot of PAIN, that's a pathway. My brain has chosen this pathway and it gets reinforced every time I have a migraine, every time my rib slips, which has happened a few times in the last few months and can be very PAIN-ful. And if something even remotely feels like that, then my brain goes, oh, let's take that path again. And I can pause and say, no, thank you. I can feel that twinge and say, no, not today. No, please no. And I can think about something positive. I can move a little more carefully. I can choose a better thought. And I do not say that flippantly, because this year I have not been as capable to see the magic, to see the joy, to see the good. I know that I live a very privileged life. I am so lucky. Although there have been challenges with my living space, outside construction, unfortunately, some noise from above that I have not experienced in 13 years of living here, trying to sort things out with the condo board, with the property management company, other things that have just been a bit tricky. In the past, I know and trust and believe that everything is figure-outable, that there really is no value in worrying or getting stressed out, because things have a way of working themselves out. I am a capable, strong human. I will find a way. I will always look for solutions. These last few months, this past year, it feels like it's taken a little longer. So please know that when I say it's possible to choose a better thought, or like a previous episode this year, I think early this year I had said, choose a more empowered story. And then a lot of this year, I did not feel so empowered. And I will be honest, I was taken down by doing this program that I had such high hopes for, because ultimately it messed with my brain chemistry, it messed with my hormones. The fibroid is affecting my hormones. It's affecting my mental health. It's affecting my physical health. It's affecting my sleep, all of it. But even in the darkest times, I can still stop and be thankful for something that I love, for someone that I love. I invite you to stop and do that right now. As I said that, I closed my eyes and put my hand on my chest. One thing that I am thankful for. Honestly, I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful that I'm still here. And I'm thankful that although challenging, this year has reminded me and has taught me that resilience can look different at different times. I think for me, resilience has been and has looked like me always being able to rise above, me always being able to be capable and to be there for everyone and to be there for myself and to be strong, whatever that image was that I had. But to me now, resilience is if I can only just get out of bed and take care of me and keep putting one foot in front of the other, I celebrate that. Strength and resilience now to me is knowing that just because this year I had a more difficult time seeing the good or finding the joy, that's just being human. And just like you, just like our parents before us, children, people that we love, this is our first go around. I am just figuring it out as I go. And so even if I perceived myself or others perceived myself as someone who could handle anything, maybe it's okay that I haven't been able to. And I celebrate that I have sought support. I have gone to counseling 27 times this year. I have had other healing modalities as well. I've done inner work on my own, inner child work. I've done something called inner bonding with my friend Michel Duhaime, who is an incredible Qigong master, acupuncture practitioner, and it's something that he works with people. It's called inner bonding. If you're interested, I will try to link him in the notes, or you can reach out to me. But I went to counseling 27 times. 2 times with someone who was not a good fit. I took 8 hours to find that person, and I was like, that's not it. Reached out to the Calgary Counseling Center because I had gone there before and because it fits more of my economic possibilities right now. They took 3 weeks to get back to me, which is not typical. It was not a person that I wanted, not because of her, but because I wanted a registered psychologist, somebody who had a degree in psychology, was a psychologist. This person has a master's in social work and then has become registered to be a counselor, or maybe it's a registered psychologist without the same background. And I'm proud of myself because I said, I've worked with someone with that same credential twice before, and I didn't have good experiences. So I'm willing to work with you if you are going to do an extraordinary job. I honestly said something like that. And to her credit, she has risen to the occasion. She has gone above and beyond. I won't say her name, but thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your listening. And thank you for helping me during this very challenging time for me. And what's interesting is before I went to record this evening, I happened upon a reel on Instagram. I don't know how you say her last name. I would say Olivia Stabile. Maybe it's Stabile. It's stable. Stabile. And I happened upon a reel. And I mentioned this because she was talking about self-awareness and how right now our culture really celebrates or focuses on we're self-aware. So I often in this podcast will talk about being a recovering people pleaser. I will talk about other things that I know of myself. So I do have a high level of self-awareness. But this year I uncovered things that I didn't know that I didn't know. And what she said at the end of this reel was, awareness names the cage, but healing walks out of it. Don't stay stuck in a cage forever. Awareness names the cage, but healing walks out of it. Don't stay stuck in a cage forever. And I feel as though I am emerging from a cage. I feel as though the commitment that I made to myself to continue to go to counseling, to get the support, because like I've mentioned in past episodes, I was crying all day, every day. It didn't matter if I had something to cry about, the hormones, the brain chemistry. I had an immense amount of rage that has improved, but I still don't feel like myself. And something I wrote down a couple of weeks ago, I was meditating, and I hope this makes sense. What I was feeling was, I'm still me to other people. So if you haven't seen me in a while, or maybe if I did see you, you might see me as the me that you've always known and loved, or liked, or tolerated. But I'm not me to myself. I have not been me to myself. And I am still coming back to her. I'm still coming home to myself. I keep getting glimpses of her, but I am not. If I rewound a year and a half before today's date, or a year and 3 months or 4 months, I don't feel like the same person. I am not able to access joy in the same way. I still appreciate life. I love life. I still believe that everything is figure-outable. I still know and trust and believe that everything, whether it feels good or not, whether it's pleasant or not, everything that happens in my life, everything that I experience as a human is for me to grow from and to learn from. And even if it's been super tricky a lot of the time this year, that's okay. Because I still believe that life is magical. I still believe that the best is yet to come. And so I celebrate myself for that. I celebrate that. And I celebrate you. If you were here listening, you're in it. We're in this human experience. Hopefully you are still trusting that the best is yet to come. Hopefully you are taking the steps, whatever that looks like for you. I mention it all the time. Maybe you go to acupuncture and that's healing. Maybe you're doing somatic breath work. Maybe there's tantric work that you're doing. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's punching a boxing bag, working out. May you continue to come home to yourself, and may you free yourself of whatever cages you might have been stuck in up until this point. Because I feel like I'm emerging from the cave. I feel like I have noticed patterns in my life. I've noticed where I was abandoning myself to make other people comfortable, over-apologizing, not having appropriate boundaries. And I recently had left a message for someone, and I just said, it's been excruciating at times to not be connected, but the universe, or God, or my body, or my subconscious or unconscious for years has been screaming at me to take care of myself. And I always thought that I was, for years now, self-compassion and self-love, self-care, self-nourishment. I'm doing it, taking myself on dates, loving myself more, asking myself, how can I love myself more? But there's something in the wild experiences that I've had this year of challenging physical, chemical, hormonal health that I mentioned to this friend in a message. I said, I have to take care of myself. And so hopefully in the next few months, as I recover post-surgery, I will be able to come home to myself even more. I will have the desire to spend time with the people I love. If that takes time, that's okay, because I'm still here. And I'm doing my best to give myself space and grace. It's tricky. There are times where I know that I'm judging myself. There's times I don't even realize that I'm judging myself for not being there for other people in the ways that I wish that I could be. And I hope that you've never felt like this, but when your capacity is like at rock bottom and all you're trying to do is keep your head above water, all you're trying to do is just breathe, then I'm pretty sure that means you're just supposed to try and take care of yourself. And I'm trying. And I'm thankful that, like I said, I have gotten glimpses of myself. And I want to share a magical Christmas gift that my younger brother and I and his wife, we surprised my parents with and went with some other family friends. It was a sleigh ride at Lake Louise. So beautiful. The weather wasn't too cold. It was snowing. It was honestly one of those things that you sign up for and you hope that it'll be a wonderful time. It far exceeded any expectation. We had a gentleman named Lloyd who was probably like a 70-year-old cowboy. Christina was at the reins of these two beautiful horses. It was her second day on the job with the horses and the sleigh. The feeling of being in the sleigh, I don't know if you've ever gone surfing. I caught one wave once in Oahu. If I haven't told the story, I'll tell it another day. It kind of felt like that, and my brain loved it. The feeling of, it wasn't like skiing, and it was this gliding feeling that just relaxed my brain. We ended up singing Jingle Bells a little bit. We got off the sleigh at the end of the lake where the horses and the sleigh had to turn around because the ice wasn't quite frozen and there was a frozen waterfall. We managed to surprise my parents. My dad did say after that he had an inkling that it was either dog sledding or a sleigh ride. And my dad had the hugest grin. We jokingly call him a Grinch at Christmas because he is a big introvert and the holidays can be a lot for him. His favorite movie is A Christmas Carol. You know, the one with Scrooge, the original one. He really identifies with the Scrooge character. But he was grinning ear to ear. My mom loved it. We brought snacks for afterwards and had hot chocolate, and it was really, really magical. And I'm so thankful that we were able to surprise them with that gift, the gift of togetherness. And I share this because a couple of days later, I did experience the overwhelm of being around so many people. It was a lot more than I've experienced in months and months and months. And by Christmas Day around 2 p.m., I allowed myself to get a bit stressed and overwhelmed by circumstances and family and getting ready for dinner, etc. But I bucked up and I did attend Christmas dinner. But I've just been resting the last few days. And so wherever you're at as we approach this new year, know that I see you. You might have had the most joyful, wonderful holidays you've ever had with your family and your friends, or maybe you were on your own. Maybe you did have moments that might have been stressful with family. But like me, you still appreciate it and them. My mom single-handedly made Christmas happen for me and for others because as of about a week and a half ago, I had no presents for anyone. I had no gifts, and I woke up one morning and I thought, well, is this the Christmas that I don't give anybody anything? But I love giving gifts, and I just really wanted to participate in the giving. I kept saying to my niece and nephew, it's not about receiving, it's about giving. And so I just want to say a huge, massive thank you to my mom for, honestly, she went to the store, she ordered things. I maybe picked up one or two things on my own. So thank you, Mom, for making it happen. And I felt spoiled. I wasn't expecting anything, and I got a lot of really incredible gifts. And the biggest gift was being able to spend time with my family, staying at my brother's house, having my niece as a roommate. Pretty wonderful. Although my memory is so short currently. I was lying in bed on Christmas Eve, so thankful for all the loving, wonderful people in the house that night. My niece is next to me. My nephew's in the next room. I'm like, wow, I'm so thankful. This is amazing. And then about a half an hour later, my niece moved in the bed beside me, and I had forgotten she was there, and I was scared. And then it happened again at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. when I was awake. But the overall feeling is thankfulness. Yes, I've been recovering the last few days. Yes, I reflect on where could I have brought better energy. I like to be responsible for the energy that I bring. But there's that quote, if you think you're Zen, spend a week with your family. And I haven't been Zen this year. So overall, I'm going to pat myself on the back and say, I did a pretty good job. And going back to that quote about awareness naming the cage, so I am aware of how I was when I was overwhelmed. There are certain moments where I feel like I wish that I could have done better, but I'm going to give myself the grace and compassion to say it's okay. I apologized to my mom, for example. I was a bit intense with her, and I thanked her for everything that she did to make Christmas so special. So may you take a moment to reflect. Thank yourself for surviving this year, whether you survived it, whether you thrived through it. I see you. I acknowledge you. And what I truly hope for you and for me and for all of us is that no matter the challenge, no matter where you're at on your journey, may you keep getting back up. May you keep moving forward, and may you stop and reflect on how things have gone so that you can make choices to have things go better. Better in your reactions and your responses, better in how you treat yourself. May you notice patterns in your relationships, in your life, in how you respond. And may you use tools like counseling, conversations with friends and family, journaling. May you create new habits and rituals so that you can continue to become the absolute best version of yourself. And even though I haven't recognized myself for the better part of this year, I'm going to honor my journey and trust that the lowest lows and the highest highs are helping me become more of who I'm meant to be. I want to honor you on your journey. Again, whether it's been the most magnificent year of your life or the most challenging, you are still here. I celebrate you. And you are not alone. You are never alone. We are all connected. And may we continue to return to love for ourselves, love for others, and may we trust and believe that tomorrow and the next day and 2026 and the next year after that will be more magical, more full of joy and love and laughter and fun adventures and abundance, more of all of that than we can even imagine. I wish that for you and to you. I want to say a massive thank you for your listening, because I will say it once, I will say it again, listening is loving. I appreciate you for being here. Please feel free to connect, whether it's via email, dksutty@yahoo.ca. You can find me on Facebook, Danielle Sutty, Instagram, Danielle.Sutty, TikTok, Danielle Sutty. You can listen to this podcast on YouTube. Feel free to comment, subscribe. I know my sister-in-law left a comment this year on Apple and it still tickles me. It's so exciting. So if you leave a comment and I see your name, I'm going to reach out to you. It's very exciting. And may that excitement that I just shared with you, that feeling of excitement, may that carry us in to this new year. May we trust and believe that the best is yet to come, that we can choose a more empowered story, and that we have the capacity to heal. May we all break free from our cages. May we all break free from whatever is holding us back. Peace and freedom, joy and abundance for us all. Until we meet again. Hello, my loves. Multiple times in this episode, I mentioned a UV lamp when I was not at all referring to a UV lamp. I was referring to a light therapy light or lamp that I will use in the morning if I can't get outside, if I can't see the sunlight through the window or somehow be outside. And the benefits of getting light in our eyeballs close to when we wake up in the morning is that it helps reset our circadian rhythm. It helps with nighttime sleep. It helps boost mood and keep us feeling more awake and energized throughout the day. And that is something that has really been helping me stave off the migraines. The second thing is, I don't want to give people false hope. Everyone is different. I did mention that day 9 post-infusion and I received Monoferric. I was feeling less fatigued, especially heading to my menstrual cycle. I will say yesterday and today, I feel like I'm walking through mud, could barely stay awake. Therefore, I don't want to give false hope, but I do know that it takes 6 weeks for the infusion to truly take its full effects. And so if that's something that you do end up using in the future, I invite you to do what I'm doing, which is just to be patient and to be kind to yourself and to cross your fingers that hopefully it will help bring energy levels up and help you feel like a human that can do more things and can feel more involved in life and society. So that is my hope and prayer. And I just wanted to add that and wish you an incredible 2026 and beyond. May it be magical.